Hello, everybody. It's Adelaja
Yeah, I
here
think
from
there's a
Kyiv,
mistake in the
Ukraine.
spellings
I want
here.
to welcome all of you to today's Kingdom Fruits. The person I'm having today is the first time she's appearing. Uh, Oi,
Victoria.
Babusha, I see that the spelling of wedding is not correct there. It's double E instead of double D. Double D is supposed to be double D, I think. This is wedding instead of wedding.
I see that.
Yeah. Is it double D? I think it's double D, right? Yeah. So, anyway, welcome everybody. Let's, if Nazwane told you, Facebook, YouTube. I want to welcome all of you to this program, and please go and share it with your friends and family. This is scandalous program. How can somebody go and cancel our wedding plans? You know, that is a big decision there. Who is the hero lady that is able to do such a thing? Wow. I'm sure all of you are looking forward to see who she is. Well, she is Victoria Ann, and I would like to introduce her to you. Hello, Victoria.
Yeah, hello DSA. Hello everyone. Good evening from here.
How
Yeah,
are,
so I'm Victoria.
yes. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, so who is this heroic girl that is capable of doing this? Tell us your story.
Yeah, okay. So this actually happened in the year 2017. Okay, so I just got a proposal from a man, and I was ready. It was just like about, okay, now the proposal has come. You're an adult, so you can just go ahead and get married. Yeah, but I think it was at that point in time that I met a friend, Chioma. Her name is Chioma, the one that sells the books.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, so she gave me some videos, and I listened to a lady self-sufficiency before marriage. So I backed down on that decision to get married to that
So
young
that
man.
is family series.
Yes, sir. Yeah, a lady self-sufficiency before marriage. Yeah.
Yes. Let's start from. Is that the very first one you started to listen to? That was my first message you listened to.
My very first message was life is predictable. Life's greatest secret. That was the first
Okay, let's
message.
start the journey first of all. You are a Christian. Let's start your story in general before we
General.
get to the main thing. So yeah, how did you grow up? And you know, were you a Christian at this point?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was born in a family of six children. I was born and raised by both my parents in Lagos, Nigeria. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm from Imo State,
From what?
and
From what state?
Imo
Imo
State,
State. Yes.
and I was born in a Catholic background. I was born in a Catholic home, so I was used to being in the Catholic church. I was in the choir right from when I was a teenager up until. So I think I stopped attending Catholic church at age 16, because I started to have some questions about some of the doctrines. And when I couldn't get some answers, I quit Catholic church. So that was like, so I was born a Christian. I was born in a Christian home in the Catholic church. So I quit Catholic church and I joined RCCG. Yeah, so I was in RCCG for a long time. Yes, but I actually became a worker very much later because I was a student for most of the time. So it was after my education that I became a worker in RCCG. So I worked with in RCCG for 2 years. I worked in RCCG for 2 years.
You are working
So
there as a worker or just as a
yes,
member?
as a worker, I started as a member, but I moved in to start working as a worker. I was a singer.
And you are working as that's like a full-time job or what?
No, like normal RCCG workers. It was not a full time. It was not a paid job. Just like a normal
Okay, like
they
you are.
paid to work in church.
Okay, so
Yes.
you are a singer in the church for 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so while you were there, did you discover your calling? Did you know who you are? What were they? What was your life like?
Well, it's a very, very interesting story because I think my life, I don't know if to say this, but I think my life actually began the day I left RCCG. I
What?
could say that because,
You
yeah,
have to.
because
Yeah, we want to hear why.
yes, and that's because I used to have this understanding that, you know, in order to secure your future, you have to do something for God. So God is supposed to pay you back. God is supposed to pay you back after working for Him. So I used to even wonder then, like how people who don't work for God, how they actually are so sure about their future and how they move. But so I used to work because I believed that God was going to pay me back, and that is like that was what I've been taught. So to me, I just felt like once I can be a worker in church for as long as possible, my future is just very secure. So I think I started to have a different understanding when I started listening to your messages. Yeah. So and at the time I was a school teacher at that time because after my education, my BSc, I went for a teacher's training. So I joined a school. I was employed in a school, and I started teaching preschool. That's the children under 6 years old.
No, before
Yeah. So
then,
I was
you are going to school. I mean, you are going to church, and because you are serving in the church, you thought that was what qualified, what makes God to what. I explained
yes.
that moment. I don't get it.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought that just because I was working in church, I don't have any other purpose. I was just born to just follow what other Christians are doing by working in church. So by working in church, that is the only assignment I've been called to. God has just called me, oh, you can sing, just join the choir. And that is all I was born for, to be singing in church.
Wow. Do
Yes,
you
sir.
think a lot of people still think like that in Nigeria?
Yes, sir. A lot of people still think about it, as in they still think like that. Even people that are very much educated, I think it's very much difficult to even try to even convince them than people that are even starting up. As in, I say this because when
Why?
you see
It's
someone
like
that
it's like you are looking up most of the time or to the sky. I don't think anybody is there. Oh. We are all here in your opposite like this.
okay, yeah. So what I'm saying is, I think people that are very much educated in Nigeria here, that is it is very much more difficult to try to convince them that they have a purpose that is different from what they've been taught in church than people that are even illiterate, because those ones believe that somehow there's something for them to learn. But for these our fellow educated people, it is very much difficult to try to convince them that God has called them to a purpose different from what Christianity has taught us and religion.
So you are going to. So what? How will God recompense you? How will that happen?
Yeah, by supernatural blessings, breakthrough, open doors, yeah, so that's just how it is. Like when good things start happening to you, you just know that God is doing it for you because you've dedicated your time to work for God and do something in church.
But so that might be the explanation why a lot of people in Nigeria spend most of their time in churches.
Yes, yes, and yes, I think so because I used to be like that. I didn't usually like have this craving to want to know God personally, one on one. I just believe that by going to church and by being active in church. In fact, I feel guilty each time I'm not able to meet up in church. So I was just like one of those people, like, always being active in church, always wanting to do something in church because I had this understanding that if I had to become something, if I have the will of God for me was to work in church. So many other people still have this mindset that when they don't go to church, they are not Christians. And in order for them to be very good Christians, they must join the workforce in church. Even most of the time they even give if you're just a member in Redeemed and you're not a worker, they don't say it that way, but they just put it like a guilt trip. There's always something they just say it in such a way to make it look like there's something you are not doing, In order for you to be a complete Christian, you have to join the workforce of RCCG.
So people will be working. What about if they have a job?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to give this example because it happened once when I discovered that in order to be a very dedicated worker in Redeemed, you have to put the church work first before your profession. Because there was a time we had a program in church and it fell on a working day, and then the pastor gathered all the workers in church and told them to take a break for that day and not show up at work for that day. We just had to just like tell people that we won't be coming to work today because there's a program in church. And to my boss accepted because of course she was also a Christian, so she knows how those things work. So I think for workers in church, they have this understanding that the God's work must come first before their profession.
Wow. So God's work must always be in the church, or what?
Yes.
It has to be in that particular four walls of the church.
Yeah, it has to be there. It has to be there. That is God's work. If you are not an usher in church, you have to be a choir, you have to be a chorister or something. You just have to be working inside the church, wearing their uniforms, going for workers' meetings and meetings with the GO and all those things. So that was just like what my life was about then.
What about
Showing up.
if your calling is not to sit and be doing those things in the church, but if it is taking care of children, if it is in medicine, if it is somewhere where you are working?
In the first place, nobody knows what calling is. We don't even know there's anything like calling. Nobody understand. I started hearing about calling. I thought calling was only for pastors. It was after I started listening to you that even when I read one night that I discovered that everyone actually has a calling. So people don't even know that they have a calling. So if you say you have passion for children, you just join the children parts of the church, and every Sunday you go to children's Sunday school or something. So, and if you're in the med section too, of course, if you're interested in medicine, there's always, I don't know, but I think it has been designed in such a way that for whatever you want to do, there's a ministry for that in church for you to do it there.
So you don't need to bother about the nation at all.
You don't need to bother about that. If you want to, yeah, of course, you can go to redemption camp and be working as one of their first aid personnel or something. If you think you like medicine and you want to do medicine, the thing is, the idea is that you have to be a worker in church first before your profession. That is just the way
it is. Your profession is just to make money, right?
Yeah, just to make ends meet and for you to pay tithes and seeds and whatever.
That's why you did your job.
Yes, as a worker, there's this manual they hand to us. We go through training before becoming a worker. So that is where they tell you, they give you like the hierarchy, like after your pastor comes this pastor and whatever before God and all those things. So I think a normal church worker, before you even become a worker, all those training already
brainwash you.
Yeah, something already that is making you to understand that whatever you are doing it, you have to put God first. And by putting God first, you have to put your ministry in church first. I remember one experience where I had a choir rehearsal around, because it was during the Christmas carol service, whatever. I had to leave. I left the house that day by 11 p.m. and there was no vehicle to take me, and I had to walk. And I was walking, and I was telling myself that God is protecting. God knows I'm coming to His house
in the dead of the night.
At night, yeah. And I remember, I don't know how, but somehow I got to church around past 12 a.m. that morning, and I was very happy that really God really protected me. And even the next Sunday, I came out for testimony, and I told them that I worked from 11 p.m. at night, and God protected me and brought me to His house. So everybody applauded, and they were happy that I had such a testimony.
What about the ones who are not protected?
Your faith is not strong enough.
Their faith is not strong enough, eh?
Their faith is not strong enough.
Wow. So you did
Yeah.
I heard you say something just now that uh, you I forgot the statement you made before you told the story of going to church. So basically what I understand is that you can only serve God in the church.
Yes, that is it. You can only serve God in the church. Every other thing you are doing, you can call it charity or something. Maybe, yeah, you can just call it charity.
But it's
But
not serving
to
God.
really serve God, yes, to really serve God, you must do it in the church. You must do it in the church building, in that set.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you a little bit, Victoria. Can
Yes,
you?
sir.
I'm sure maybe now you know the trick. You know that the whole idea of saying that you can only serve God in the church is a way of converting the so-called church members into subjects, into slave camps. Is a
Yes,
way
sir.
of creating a slave camp so that as soon as they say you belong to their church, they all have authority over you. So they dominate you. Your,
Yes,
your life is in their hands. So you are
yes, sir.
thinking you are serving God, but really you are dedicating your life, as your hours, your time, everything to building their kingdom up, to building their empire.
Yes, the empire.
Because if it is God, you can serve God. In fact, the best way to serve God is what Jesus said. I was naked, you didn't clothe me. I was
Yeah.
hungry, you didn't
Hungry,
feed me.
please
All those
feed me.
things. When you are cater for the poor, the needy, the widows, the orphans, all those, that is the best way to serve God. Your neighbor, when you take care of your neighbor, like the
Yes.
story of the Good Samaritan, that is the best way to serve God, though. But when somebody is telling you that you have to become part and parcel of this organization, and then only here you can serve God, finish. They don't. It's like a cage. They can put lions and cats and dog in cage. That's what they have done for the whole of Nigeria. They have created cage for them. They have caged you,
Yes.
and this cage. It is the one that you yourself you are using your leg to come there to enter into the
Yes.
cage with your own leg.
Yes, sir. And I remember the very first time we started talking about this. I think the topic was paganism in the African church.
Yes,
I think we did a series on it. And I remember the first set of people you called out was Chris Oyakilome
yes,
and T.B. Joshua.
yes,
How they were using extrasensory perception or something,
yes.
to perform miracles. And then to me, I remember I told that Chioma then and the husband, I told them that,
Oh, she disappeared though.
yeah, sorry, I'm back. Yeah,
Okay.
I told them, okay, that I know that DSA has information about all these things and it could be true, but I'm very sure about Adeboye. So if DSA can come up with something, about Adeboye, I'm going to quit RCCG. And because I thought that fake pastors can only be about when they are performing fake miracles, and I know that Adeboye does not do much of those things. So I didn't really understand the other parts of the paganism thing. How we just like idolize them. You can't be in a service, a full service, and not hear Adeboye's name mentioned like about 30 times. It's all
Wow.
about Daddy Gio, and I didn't see those things as idolatry. I only had this understanding that idolatry is just about people using magical powers to perform miracles. And to my own understanding, I know that Adeboye is not the miracle kind of. Although he comes up with lots of stories, you can't attend a Holy Ghost service and not have I'll not come back with a different story, one story that would ginger you to want to come to church and something. So I promised myself that, okay, if DSC can come up with something and it is tested and trusted with the scripture, and I know that, then I'm going to quit RCJ. I told myself. And then DSA now came up with Adeboye and the God of when you came up with that program, it was a shocker to me. It took me a very long time. For people that know me, it took me months to really get myself, like to really embrace this thing. I knew that they were true, but I just couldn't believe that I've been under such
Deception.
It was as if scales fell off my eyes, as if I was drugged for a long time, and it became something that was so heavy in my heart. And I still kept on going to church, but by then, when I now go to church, I now start to test those things you talked about. They now come into practice and into play, and this time I now understand. Before, I didn't understand because I felt like that was just the normal thing that should happen in a church. But after that series, when I now go to church, it was as if I was going with question marks. Now don't jump. DSA don't talk. You know all those things. So, and then I think it was at that period that I actually stopped going to church.
Okay, you just mentioned something now that Adeboye only tells stories. Now let me unravel the mystery of stories, Adeboye stories for you. Mm-hmm. Every of Adeboye's stories is always geared at the people listening, thinking of him as the special one. Every story he tells, it's all about you looking at him and say, wow, this is the special one. And he's the one through whom I could go to God. For example, the last story I had, I don't know if it is true that he said this story or not, but I think it's true because everybody is talking about it, that he said he was taking breakfast, either breakfast or tea or something. Is it tea or breakfast?
Tea.
It's tea, eh? Yeah, I think it's one of the two. Either it's tea or breakfast. So that the tea was reduced like that. So he came to the conclusion that he is so close to God there, and since you have never drank tea with God, you know for sure that this one a whole human being drinking tea, God leaving heaven to come and drink tea here with this man. So you know who to worship.
Yes.
That is so. The whole stories, the whole ideas behind Adeboye's stories is idolatry, and is paganistic. It is syncretism. It is geared at people looking up to him instead of looking up to God. So instead of directing you to have direct relationship with God, that I am not, I am the same as you, I am on the same level like yourself, that nope, I'm not special. Every story he says is to show you that he has special power. He has special access to God. He's a favorite of God, but you are not. So since God is so far from you and is so close to him, obviously you will be looking for somebody who is closer to God, who can agree to God for you. So for example, he would tell stories of people he prayed for, or somebody who shook his hand, and after that person shook his hand, all the diseases and sickness, the person became pregnant, for example. So you'll be saying, look, I beg, God, I don't know where God is. I don't know where God is. But this one day here, that is my church. That is my... So it is replacing yourself with God. It is idolatry. Because in the Bible, when God did such miracles through the apostles, Paul and Silas and Barbara, what he said, Barnabas, what he said is that, because they wanted to worship them. Paul and Silas, they tore their clothes and said, look at our flesh. They removed their clothes to say, we are ordinary human beings like you. Touch us, see our nakedness. That we are not special. We are just like you, human being like you. Don't worship us, don't worship us. And they fell on their faces before those people and begged them, please don't look at us as special. But in Nigeria, it's not just the people who want to look at them as special, but Adeboye will come up with stories, Either you like or not, then you will ginger you and make you to by force see them. The Bible is saying, no, don't worship. They are rather creating stories to make you worship them. I don't know if you remember in Acts chapter 10, is it chapter 10 or chapter 9, when Peter and his team came into the house of Cornelius, the person God told him to kill something and eat. So when he entered into that house, Cornelius and his family member, they fell down before Peter. They wanted to worship him and say, Jesus himself appeared to us and said we should wait for you. So you are the one that's coming in the name of Jesus. They wanted to worship. He said, no, he also fell down his face and said, no. He took him up and said, don't worship, we are not special. We don't have anything special. We are like you. But in Nigeria, every pastor is, if you don't want, they will brainwash your head. They will tell you stories.
Yes.
The stories will keep on coming until you believe that they are the ones who are special, because that is the
Exactly.
real idolatry. And the biggest of those storytellers is Adeboye himself, and is the biggest idolater. Is for you to be able to look at him as somebody special. One day he said he was riding his car from one state in Nigeria. Is it? Huh?
Petrol.
Yeah, with no petrol. The thing that is a miracle worker. That means he is so powerful. Even car will work
Yes.
without fuel. But all the church members will be saying, yeah, this is it. It's like it's infallible. It is. So that is idolatry. So you see, it is paganism all over again in Nigeria. And I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying, Victoria.
I do. Yeah, but I didn't have this understanding then. I was among the people there that after when I go to church and I hear, there's always a fear-mongering story in every service. You hear your pastor say something like, last week the woman was just crossing the road and trailer came from nowhere and hit her and she died. Open your mouth and pray that such thing will not happen to you. Now, and the next thing you start hearing is, come and sow seed though, so that you will not die. You will not die on time. Now, people will open their mouth and be praying. As in, the most funny thing about this thing is that even before I even started listening to you, I had questions, because I was someone that was, always have this mindset to I always have question marks in situations, and that's why I was able to leave my church, my Catholic church, to another church because of those questions. But because I came with the mindset that I'm joining a Pentecostal church, especially something like a church like RCCG. It's a very good church, and the man of God is whatever. So when the questions come, I just like, Vicky, are you doubting God? What's wrong with you? Just take those things out of your mind. Devil is planting those things in your head. So, and that's why when I hear such stories, even if I was able to question them, in my heart, I think that I just thought that thing that was causing me to ask questions was lack of faith. And it was something I had to work on. I had to work on believing in God so much that I can believe anything, and my faith has to be strong. When they say faith in God, they mean faith in stupid stories like the tea story now. So because you see people they will believe that story, and they think that believing the story means they have faith. And that's why they can come and attack your view on this tea song. They'll say because you don't drink tea, God has never drank tea with you, then you don't know that God can drink tea with their pastor Adeboye. That means your faith with God is not as strong as those who believe. So the moment you don't believe the story that they are telling you, so they give you this guilt trip to make you look like you don't have enough faith in God, and then you now want to start working hard for your faith to be stronger in God.
And then you'll be worshiping the man.
Worshiping the man and giving him your money, your time as a worker, without any payment. Just going there to expand their ministry and their empire out of ignorance and religion.
Okay, before we go to the story of your wedding, tell me how you got in touch with DSA.
Okay, so I got in touch with DSA on July 2017 to be precise. Yeah, so I met a lady, Mrs. Chioma. So she was the one that, I remember the first time she spoke about DSA. It was very funny to me. I wrote down and I was laughing because she made mention of something. She said, I have seen the man that will change Nigeria. So that was what she said. She said, I have seen the man that will change Nigeria. Do you know him? His name is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And I've never even heard the name. So I'm like, what's she even saying? She was like, so you don't believe that somebody can change Nigeria? I said, I don't believe that anybody can change Nigeria. And I don't know any Sunday Adelaja. So for somebody to change Nigeria, I should know the person now. But how can you just be calling one person and be saying that the person will change? So that was the first time I heard your name from her. So as time goes on, so she gave me a book. I went to her house one day and she gave me a book, Who Am I? And then she asked me to read that book. So I read a few chapters of the book, and I think
So she didn't
I
start by giving you the message. She started with a book.
yes, with a book, yes. So she gave me that book and I read it. I couldn't understand, to be sincere, I couldn't understand what was written in that book. Because in the first place, it was talking about everybody having a calling. And I knew I wasn't a pastor and I don't have any intention of being a pastor's wife. I didn't even want to marry a pastor. I was reading about who am I, why are you here, purpose, calling, those things were so strange to me
It's
and
not
I didn't
possible.
understand.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, they were so strange. I didn't understand. Even when she asked me for, do you write? I said yes, I like the book because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. But in truth, I never understood what that book was talking about. I was just reading it like somebody just wrote this book. So that's why you are saying it can change Nigeria because it's telling you that has a calling or whatever. Why am I here on earth? I couldn't relate to that book because it was the very first time I was hearing something like that. I've never heard it before. When I hear the word calling, the first time I used to hear the word calling was for Reverend Fathers and Reverend Sisters in my Catholic church. So when God has called you, you go to the convent and become a Reverend Sister, or you join the monastery or something. And I knew that nothing like that for me. So when DSA was saying in that book that everybody had a calling, I couldn't relate. Yeah, and then I remember that at that period she traveled. So I think she traveled out of the country to America. So her husband gave me a message titled "Life's Greatest Secret." So he just like, okay, subscribe to Dr. Sunday on YouTube. I want you to watch this message. And that was the very first time I listened to DSA. Life's greatest. Anyway, when you were saying life is predictable. So I think that was the first time I really got interested in listening to you because DSA was saying things that I didn't believe was possible. Like, when you were sharing them and you were even backing it up with scripture and whatever. So I was like, wow, this is very interesting. So are you telling me now that I can secure my future? Are you telling me that I can create what I want for myself? So I listened to part one of that message. I listened to part two. So I became interested. I started following DSA on Facebook, on YouTube. Yeah, and then so I think after some
No,
time,
but can I ask you a question? Have
yes,
you,
sir.
because I've had such a discussion that I'm having with you now with somebody else who has finished a first degree and was doing a master's. I have a friend here, Victor, Babishahi Victor. So
I know
that
him.
is Babishahi Victor's friend in Nigeria. And he wanted me to talk to her because she was having a bad day and she wanted a birthday gift to talk to Pastor Sunday. So I was talking to her, but when I was talking to her, I discovered that this. You said you finished secondary school. She said yes. You finished BSc. She said yes. You are doing masters now, and you don't know what is calling. She said no. You don't know what is purpose. She said I know the word, but I said you. But I want to ask you the same question. Did you go? You finished secondary school? Did you go to secondary school?
Yes, I did.
You went to secondary school, and after secondary
Yes, sir.
school, did you go to anywhere again?
Yes, I went for my BSc in Imo State University.
So throughout all that journey, you never heard about all these principles.
I did, but only in the spiritual sense. So when you hear calling, and it's not a joke. I think people don't know about these things. People don't know these things in this place. It is very funny that somehow you're not able to hold a conversation. Like right now, it's very difficult for me to hold a conversation with some people, because when you talk about some things, they just can't relate. And that was how I was. So when that woman was telling that somebody could change Nigeria, and when her husband gave me the life greatest secret, I couldn't understand that I can have a calling without having the passion. God has not told me to be a pastor. I didn't want that calling. I used to see that calling must be God's voice. God must call you at night, like he called Samuel. So when he called you,
Oh,
that's calling now. That's what calling is defined. God will call your name, like
wow.
Victoria. like like you have to hear God's voice in your head telling you to go and start a ministry or something, to go
Oh,
and become a sister, to
you
go
have
and
to go
marry a
back to the
pastor.
Old Testament, the days of Samuel.
Yes. So when someone talks about calling, we are expecting the God's voice,
No, is this just
maybe
you?
in a trance.
Like the way I'm understanding is this is not just you, because I talked to that other lady too. She's young, she
It's
doesn't
not
have any
just
idea, and she's been going to church all her life too.
yes, that's because the church don't even know why they are there in the first place. They don't even know, pastors don't even know their job. Pastors just think that they are just there to preach what they want to preach on the pulpit and go with all our tithes and offering. They don't even understand their job to pastor people to recognize and understand their purpose, their God-given purpose on earth. So I was just like those people. So when she was telling me about when I read the book about who am I, the book was just, to me, it was just, please, I'm not interested in all these things. This person is just sharing ideas. I don't, how can you tell me that God can call everybody? So I didn't even read the book to the end. I just grew so impatient that, so are you saying that God is calling everybody to be a pastor? Who will not be the member of the church?
Wow.
So the church members, if everybody has a calling and purpose on earth, who will not be? So that was just my understanding.
Nigerian
Yes,
churches have just
hmm,
blinded. They have just
understanding
destroyed
of
people's lives.
calling. Yeah, that was my own. So I was just a normal person, just going about, not knowing anything about them, just working. I work, I get a salary, I'm fine. And one day I'm going to get married and give birth to children, and I'll grow that die. I didn't have any understanding. I didn't even know who Christ
So
is
you had a
before
great
that.
vision. Getting work, get
Yes,
salary, and get married. That is your vision in life.
that's the greatest vision in life. Get married, have children, and pray to God to keep you so that you have your grandchildren and die.
No, are you serious?
Yes,
Are you pulling my leg? Are you joking with me or?
I'm not. I wish you can have this interview with more people. Why people? Maybe because people are not coming to speak about these things. But people that are here in Nigeria
So
will
people will be
testify
going
that
to church and don't even know they have purpose on earth.
they don't even know they don't even know Christ. We are going to church, but going to church is just about that religion, being present in. We don't even know why we are going to church, or we don't even know that our pastors have jobs. We think that going to church is just, and then in church you have all this backbiting, in choir, then you'll be jealous of this sister. This sister is wearing a beret and you don't have one. All those things, people are just bitter in the church. People are angry, and then they raise their hands and dance and go home and listen to word of knowledge and say, I receive it. So that's just what everybody's living a life of. A life, as in, I didn't understand that. I thought it was normal. But after I started listening to DSA, as in, my whole mindset was, as in, I had a complete overhaul of my mindset and worldview.
Okay,
So
so when
that's how.
you said the husband gave you some videos or some messages,
Yes,
life is predictable. So
yes,
that
yes.
was
So
when you started thinking.
yes, sir. He gave me that message. Life is predictable. So I started thinking a bit. I couldn't. It's very difficult to bring somebody out of this thing. You don't just listen to one book or one message and you are delivered. It has to be It takes a gradual process, and you have to have an open mind. If somebody does not have an open mind, if you're not somebody that questions that, as in, if you're not, I don't know, but I think most people are brainwashed to the point that even if they listen to DSA, that thing that has been put in their head from childhood cannot change. So it's a gradual process. So I listen to Life is Predictable. I think, the man is, yeah, I like his message. So I subscribed on YouTube and I added you on Facebook and I liked your page. So I think that was my journey with you. So when she came back from her trip, so I think we had a discussion. So she asked me then, I remember vividly, that Victoria, are you in a relationship? Yeah, so I just like gave her a breakdown. I don't know. So she just gave me this message: a lady's self-sufficiency before marriage. She installed all of them in my laptop by herself.
Wow.
Because of internet and something. So she wanted to put it in a flash or something, but she asked me to get my laptop, and she put all the messages inside my laptop, about 13 of them to be precise. The daily self-sufficiency before marriage. So I was listening to I didn't even know the messages were doing something to me, but I was listening to them. A message will come that you want to ignore because it is something that is pricking your conscience and your heart. That is what happens to when you are a beginner in listening to DSA's messages. You may not want to accept them because they prick your conscience. As DSA does not massage
Your ego.
DSA does not massage you. Yeah, it does not massage your ego. As it's like as if everything is pointing back to you, like there's question mark that you need to address. So I'm like, so when DSA was addressing lady self-sufficiency before marriage and whatever, I didn't want to accept it because then I was hell bent on getting married that year.
Oh,
I'm
you
like, I don't
wanted
want
to
to get
get
married
married that particular year?
that
What is the
particular year.
problem? Why that year?
No, yeah, because everything was just going on fine with the person. So, I just like, in December we should be married. And now in July, I'm listening to all these things, and DSA is trying to make me understand that I'm not ready to get married. So I didn't want to accept those messages. But by the time I listened to 1, 2, 3, I think that was when my whole mind was made up that this is not going to happen. This is just not for me.
No, what,
So,
what
and
did you
then
understand? What was happening to you? What were you understanding through those messages?
I really can't explain it, but I know that ladies that have listened to that message, it's just like the book, Am I Ready to Be a Wife? I think it's just like that book.
Yes.
Ladies, I can't even explain it for somebody to understand, but there's the message came like a guide, like when you want to head to a certain direction, and then that urge to want to do something wrong, even when you can see that it is wrong, but because you are just so excited about that thing and you want to go ahead with it, so
And the man also was ready to marry that year.
yes, we are both ready. But after listening to that message, 1, 2, 3, I just had to just,
You didn't get to 13 yet.
sir.
You didn't need to get to 13 yet.
I didn't get to the edge. So I just like called on, and I'm like, see, I think this is not going to. Was very surprised actually. He thought I was joking, but I'm like, because we've been cutting for some time, and so he knew that somehow I was waiting for the next step. So he was so surprised when I called off the relationship, but I did, and we moved on. So he left and I left. So that A Lady's Self-Sufficiency Before Marriage was one of the series that I think every lady must go, even the ones that are married, even the newly married. I think every woman should go back and listen to that message, because I can say for a fact that that message actually like changed my life. I think it was the day I decided that I want to even start following DSA for real. After I listened to that series, A Lady Self-Sufficiency Before Marriage. And I think that was why I was asked, because when DSA teaches in his messages, he doesn't just give you his ideas. He gives you practical, as in they are very practical. There are things that you can relate with and you can see. So I think because I started listening to DSA on a more physical level, before I started the spiritual aspect of paganism, and because I've seen that even on the physical, this man is intelligent and this man has something valuable to offer to the world. So he's really worth listening to, and that's why I told myself that okay, DSA does his research before he talks. DSA does not just come out to talk about things. He talks about life is predictable, and they were very practical steps. So if you can tell me something about Adeboye, I'm going to take it for a fact, because I know that DSA will not just come up and start talking about somebody, and then when you did, You came up with the message and with scriptures to back it up, with the examples, the videos, and everything. And I was so broken that period. So I think that was my first encounter with DSA.
What was the reaction of the man? The fact that, did she think you lost your mind?
Yeah, he thought I lost my mind because, of course, I presented myself as a ready to be wife. I was ready to be taken to the altar, you know. So, but when I suddenly just like back, I think there was no major fight. But I think what actually happened was, I've been seeing lots of signs that the whole thing was not going to work. But because I just wanted to get married, I was ready to ignore those things and just put it by the side and just. But after I started listening to DSA, I was able to like, in the first place, this is not even what I should be looking out for. This person is not even qualified to even be called my husband. It's not even worthy at all. It's just a normal person roaming, and sometimes I wonder what my life would be if I actually married this man. I don't know what would have happened to me, right? As in what I'm going to be right now. I don't even think he's going to accept this message, this DSA message. I don't think he's the kind of person that has an open heart to want to listen and learn new ideas and change his worldview. So I just think that there's going to be a major friction right now in that my
No, but
marriage.
what
If
you
we,
said is very important, that you started seeing some signs,
yes,
but
and
you
I
are
ignored
covering
them.
it up just because you wanted to marry.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sure that there are a lot of ladies who are watching and are in that same situation right now.
yes. It happens all the time. It happens like you don't even know when you do them. You think you are in love or something. So and they tell you that love covers faults and whatever. So when people are messing you up and messing with your mind, when people are hurting your feelings, you just think that because you love them, you have to accommodate this man. After all, I will keep praying for him. So maybe he will change. Maybe he will change or something. So I just kept accepting those things and believing for a fact that God will help me to touch him. And when I pray harder, God is going to change him and restore him. So I was ready to just ignore those things and tell myself that by the time I join church, by the time I get married to him, somehow I'll make him to listen more to a pastor. Pastors are going to help. So there's just this thing in the mind of Nigerian ladies, I don't know, that gives you this impression that you can just accept anything a man has to give you.
No, but why
Because
do they think like that? Is that particular man the only man in the world?
no, because that's the whole thing. The whole thing starts from the upbringing, from childhood. As a child, you've been channeled, your brain, as in your parents have made you to understand. The society has made you to understand that the only way you can be a fulfilled woman is to get married.
Uh-uh.
Yes, yes. I'm sure every people that grew up in Nigeria can relate. There is something, even with the way things are done at home. The girls are the ones. Your mommy will tell you something like, "Won't you go and learn how to sweep? How will you sweep in your husband's house?" So even as a 6-year-old, that you don't know what husband is, your mother is already telling you you need to learn all these things for your husband house. So you can't be a woman and not get married and not have the feeling that you have to be married. So and then you must marry, as in, okay, now when a man now comes, I think the only thing most people look out for like is that, is he a Christian? That's for Christian ladies now. Once he's a Christian, we can marry him. So because we've been made to understand that marriage is something to endure, and the wise woman builds her home, whatever.
Is
So when the
marriage is to
man
be
comes,
endured,
yes, you have to endure
not
marriage.
enjoy?
Yes, I remember my mother, the man's mother once told me that she made that statement to me, that she endured her marriage with her husband for so long a time, and you can see they grew old together. You know that that sometimes when I see that those things coming from the solar, it's all part of the package that comes with marriage. That women have been gifted somehow to accommodate these things from men. So when you see a man, the only thing you want to look out for is that is the man okay? Is the man promiscuous? I think for a Christian lady, what they look out for is if he's not promiscuous, like by promiscuity, I don't mean like maybe messing around, but what I mean is that if the man is like a bit, if he has shown a bit of interest, that he's very much interested in you, yes. And then if what's the second thing?
That is a
Second,
Christian.
yeah, you must be a Christian, and then it shouldn't be violent. Once a man is this three things, I think it's fine. You can accept any other thing he gives you because it doesn't hit. This is for Christian ladies with brain. I'm talking about an average Christian lady that has brains now. They are looking out for a man that will not hit them. Once a man does not hit you and he does not mess around, and he's a by Christian, he goes to church. So once a man is these three things, you can marry
But
him.
I know that a lot of abuses happen without being physical.
Yes, I didn't know all those. Yeah, so that was what happened. This person was putting me through emotional abuse, but I didn't even know that there was something like that. You know, this is someone that will mess up and then make you feel guilty for it and make you feel worthless. And you know, and somehow after messing you up, he's going to try to turn the table around and make you feel like you want that as you are, if not, if you didn't do this thing, I wouldn't have done this way. You know, that kind of a person. And I didn't know that there was something that called emotional abuse or something. So to me, I'm like, he doesn't hit me, and then he comes, he showers me with gifts. You know, he's caring. You know, when a man gives you gifts, it means he's caring for an average Nigerian girl. Yeah, so I think I can
But
just
those gifts
so
could become manipulation, just means of manipulation.
manipulations, exactly. And if you are not even careful, you know, most ladies can even lose their lives at the end of the day. You know, when they back out of that relationship, the man can just come after eating all my money, and then they can just kill you or pour you acid on you or stuff or something like that. Yeah, so I'm just like, this guy is a wonderful guy. If not for this, so I'm always giving excuses for him,
So the guy
always
was
making.
also a Christian.
Yeah, he goes to church. He goes to church. He's still a Catholic. I think till date. He's not married actually. He married I think last year, he married last year. That was about 8 to 9 months after I cut off my relationship. So I think he was just at this stage of his life where he wanted to just get married. So even if I didn't marry him, he went ahead and
Somebody else would have. he
got
was
married to
he was
someone last.
shopping. He was shopping for what? He was wife shopping.
Yes. Yes. So that's what happened. DSA made me to recognize my self-worth and my value as a woman. And and to be sincere, by the time I was all wired up, my yardstick became very
So
it
you
became a
kept on
very
listening after you broke up with him. You kept on listening to those family series.
yes, I kept on listening. I kept on listening to them to you. I kept on listening to your messages. And it's not something that you do consciously. You don't make a conscious effort to have a mind revamp. It is just you don't even know when it is happening. Because you just see yourself, you know, becoming developed. You don't even know what is happening to you. You don't know. It is people around you that will be telling you that you changed, though. You know, and all those things. What's happening to you? But you cannot say for a fact that, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to start becoming like this. But it's
But were
just
you not
happening.
afraid? But you were afraid before that, I don't know. Were you afraid that you might not find another man before when you
No,
didn't want to break with him?
I wasn't. I can't say I was afraid for sure, but I thought I loved the man.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, I love this man. He's a good man. He's a handsome man, very handsome, and I think he can take care of me. You know, so I think I should just marry him. And and so I think that was just it for me. I just felt that I liked the guy, so I should make excuses for him, and I shouldn't mind. I didn't even know that it's not even in the place of a woman to start loving a man. I didn't know that. So that's what I'm saying. That after that. After listening to those messages, my mind was turned around like 360. I now began to see
So you
myself
didn't have the
as a
fear that if I break up, after I break up with him now, or if I break up with him, what about if nobody comes?
no, I didn't have such fear because I knew I was still very young and I still had some other men coming. But there was not something about that man. There was something about that man to me that I'm like, I like him, I love him. So I just want to marry this person. I think I should just settle for this person, no matter what is going on with us. So it was a kind of thing that I was even afraid to even express some of the character traits he had. I didn't want to tell people because I knew that they were going to tell me that, hey, stop this or don't go there. So, but I just liked him and I thought that we had something, I thought we had a connection, chemistry. So we had a chemistry. I love him, he loves me. So let's go ahead and get married. And so you can treat me however you want, so long as I know that I love you. So I didn't even know that a man is supposed to be the one to love a woman
Yes.
so much that the woman won't have any other choice than to show that love. I didn't know. I didn't have all those
You respond.
those
You respond to.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I didn't know that woman should be the one responding. So I'm like, I thought I should put on as much effort as he's put, or even more than he was actually ready to give me. So I think I just gave my all to that relationship, and I was very much dedicated in that relationship.
What will you tell
Yeah.
people who are watching now and are also in that same situation? They don't know either to break or to continue, but they are enduring stuff. How you got the strength from these messages? Is it something you would like to recommend for them to go listen to? You think it could give them the strength to be able to take the right decision in their favor?
Okay, yeah. This is my message to ladies out there. Marriage or okay, let me not even put marriage. Okay, let me see address single ladies. I'm going to say you have to discover yourself and your purpose before going into marriage. I'm saying this with all seriousness because right now I'm still married. I'm married now. I got married some months ago, November. So even as I'm already married now, I am still telling you and I'm appealing to ladies out there. You have to discover yourself and your purpose before you get married. You have to know for a fact who you are supposed to be, what you are doing before you go and join yourself to a man. Because if you don't join yourself to a man, if you just go ahead and join yourself to a man, nothing actually changes because people get married with this mindset that when you marry, a lot of things change, but nothing changes. The only thing that changes is that now you are now joined to someone, and no matter what that person brings or gives you, you are now under a commitment and you can't step out. And then even when you begin to have feelings for other people, you are not even permitted to give audience to other men right now because you are now in a marriage, you are now in a commitment with someone. So if you are not prepared enough, I can't say you should go ahead and get married. And when you are getting married, you must get married to a man who is ready to sacrifice himself. You must get married to a man who you can see that he's not just a Christian, but he's somebody that is able to lay down his own life for you. Because you'll be so disappointed by the time you go in thinking you are in love, I'm in love, we can move on. You must make sure that a man is ready to be a father to you and is ready to carry you up. And because if you don't get married to such a man, you find yourself in a mess. And the third thing I'm going to say is that such a man must have a purpose. You can't have a purpose and marry somebody that does not have a purpose. And marry somebody that just thinks that a religion is, for example, that is just going to church. Maybe you say, he has a good job and he's a Christian. So you don't marry such a person because I think women are actually naturally equipped to look out for how to help their husbands when they get married. Okay, yeah, because I can remember like the first few months after I got married, I didn't know, but in my own way, I was just like saying and looking, okay, how can I help my husband? So I don't know, I didn't even know when I started having that feeling. I wanted to see how I could support him as I'm doing my own purpose, I want to support him. So when you get married to a man that does not have a purpose, you become so frustrated and so angry because you don't know how to help such a person. And then the whole load may just be on your own shoulder. And then when a woman begins to be very much independent on her own, they will say she's not a godly woman and she's not the Proverbs 31 woman. So you now become, you just make a mess of your life if you don't understand yourself, if you don't understand yourself and your purpose before you get married. And then the fourth thing I'm going to say to single ladies out there is, before you get married, you must be financially independent. You must be financially independent. You must have some, you must have something that brings income to you. You must have something tangible in your bank account. You must have something that you are going to keep doing for a long period of time. You are not just getting married hoping that a man is going to, yes, of course, you should get married to such a man that wants to take you up as a father. But most times, many people end up disappointed because not all men have this understanding. My husband is not one of such men, but from the way things are going on right now, the women are the ones taking care of their homes. In this environment I'm seeing right now, I had a one-on-one conversation with a married woman that has been married for a long, I think 17 years or thereabout, and she confided in me that for the past 17 years she has been the one doing all the work, and the man is driving her car and parading himself, and just when people see him they'll be saying, oh, look at your wife, is so beautiful, you are the one, and she will just be shrugging her shoulders, and she just, so that's what happens most of the time. So if you get married thinking that a man is going to carry you up and build you a mansion, and you are in it for a very big disappointment. Yes, you should look out for such a man, but then again, everybody is still a human being and things can happen. So you have to be prepared financially before you get married. You must have something tangible that you are doing as a woman. Most women in abusive marriages today, we read a lot of Facebook, whatever. The man poured acid, the man stabbed her to death. They remain in such marriages because they are afraid that if they leave that kind of marriage, they don't have anything to take care of themselves and their children. So the man is now using the fact that he's a provider. So he's going to use that thing to keep that woman hostage. Because the woman is now scared that if I pack out and leave, there's nothing else for me. And that's because women are not taught that they have to be financially independent. In fact, I think that there should be a school for marriage. There should be a school like after secondary school, BSc, you must go to this school. The moment you say you want to get, not just the normal counseling in a church where they'll be telling you a wise woman build her home, a husband do this. There should be a school for people before they get married. Because people are getting married without having an understanding of what they are going in to do. So that financial independence is very important because it gives you this edge and confidence to know that if my husband becomes something else that I did not marry, I'm going to keep praying for him. I may not divorce him, but I may leave that house and we may become separated. For him to go and have his mind, I'm not advocating and saying that you must divorce your husband when the going gets tough. But what I'm saying is that at least it should be a situation whereby what if your husband dies? I don't think people think about those things. That okay, that man that you are, what if he dies tomorrow? What is going to happen to you? What is going to happen to your children? So you have to have this mind that you must have something tangible to offer financially before you go into marriage. Not because you are going to support, you want to work. Because people think that the reason why they are doing this, they want to save money in their account so that when they get married, they will dash all the money to their man. And when they are earning salary, they will be giving the man their salary. No. I'm not praying for marriages to break up, but all I'm saying is that you build a strong foundation for yourself financially before you get married, because anything can happen. Your husband will come back one day and says he's not getting married to you again, that he has found a younger girl with a nicer shape. Anything can happen. He may come back tomorrow and his business has crashed. So what would happen then? Your husband could even die. People are not thinking about those things. So you just believe that, okay, I'm going to get married to the man. The man is going to support me. All my future, everything is in his hands. So that is a very important one for ladies to be very much fine financially before getting married. And when they are getting married, they are not forgetting themselves. They are not quitting their jobs. They are not quitting their businesses to go and join the man and empty their bank account and because that's what people do. I know of a friend that got married and she brought her money and the man brought her money and everything entered into one account. The man will now start draining you. I'm not saying that marriage is supposed to be a teamwork, but you must use your brain because things are happening now. And if you don't have the brain to stand it, you are going to end up, your future is going to be messed up. So when you bring all your money and you give it to a man and say, "You are my lord, you are my husband, do whatever you want," I am telling you, my dear ladies, the man is going to do whatever they want because the society has put it in their head that it is okay to mistreat a woman. It is okay to lord over a woman. Whatever she has is yours. So long as she's my wife, I'm supposed to have her salary. I'm supposed to have her income. So most women now become working mothers. So they go through a lot of stress, and the men don't even know these things. And the men, what I'm saying now, right now, DSA, I don't know if people are going to accept it for a fact, but I'm saying that women these days, women in Nigeria are becoming much more responsible than the men. It is true. You know, when I started listening to you, I told myself that I won't get married to a man that is not exposed to DSA's teachings. I'm not saying this as a form of idolatry or because I worship DSA, but it was just a yardstick for me. I won't even give you audience if you are not listening to DSA, because if you are not listening to DSA and what he has to say about responsibility, and the only thing you have to offer is what the upbringing that your mother has already given you, to come and lord over your wife and put her on the floor, I'm not going to accept that. My last relationship was the end for me. So I always told myself that the person I'm going to marry, that man must be under DSA's teaching and DSA's mentorship. Because men are not trained to be responsible these days. You see a young man, okay, I was in a meeting, a youth gathering once, and then what did I hear? I heard the pastor saying something like, okay, once you have little money in your account and you have a one-room apartment, you can get, don't sin, go and marry. Marry, the two of you will build up yourselves together. That's irresponsibility. You can't be taking a woman, somebody's daughter, into a one-room apartment and expecting to suffer and grow up together. So, and that is how people have been channeled to think in this place. People don't, when you even say these things to your fellow women, they make it look like, okay, right now, when I was in marriage and I started having this exposure, I remember them bringing somebody home and I played some of this lady self-sufficiency for her. And then when I asked her for a review later, what she told me was that, Vicky, with the way you are going, you will end up not getting married. With the kind of yardstick you've created for yourself, Victoria, I don't think you will get married because you are too proud. I don't know what is giving you ego. You are carrying yourself too high. You may not get married. That was what she told me. So, and then when I now got married, I don't know, somehow she didn't show off my wedding. I don't know what that means, but when I now got married, I went back to her because I thought that I want to prove to you now that you said my yardstick was high, but there was a man that was willing to work himself up to my yardstick. So, are you going to accept my message now? But what did she say? She said, Victoria, I think you are saying this because you are married, Joe. You think you are now secure. So now you want to make me to chase all the men out of my life. That is because women have been raised with a very bad inferiority complex, and the men have been put on this ego. I don't know. There's this scale that is very much. It is such a pity in this place, and it is a very big passion for me that our value system, when it comes to marriages, relationship, is corrected, because it is from a home that we bring out the individuals that we see on the streets and the people that we raise. So when you grow up in such a home where your mother has made you to as a girl to see yourself as nothing, Your parents have made you to see that there's nothing you have to offer except you bring a man home. In fact, you only become recognized as a human being that succeeded, even if you have all the money in the world and you don't have a husband. There's something wrong with you. Now look at this lady, Linda Ikeji. Linda Ikeji, she's a very big blogger in Nigeria, very rich, a billionaire. And what happened? Somehow she just suddenly got pregnant, and then she was always tweeting and saying, "I want to get married." So because there's something in her that is making her to have this understanding that she's not yet complete. She's not yet a success, even with all the heights that she has covered, because she's not yet married. So I think this thing sort of gave her a complex, and I also think that it's just my own opinion. I don't know how any other person sees it, but from where I'm sitting, I could see a woman who, with all her achievements, just wanted a match for herself. And then people said she was proud because, yeah, she was a billionaire, and then she was not ready to settle for just about any man. So what happened? She got married, she got pregnant for another billionaire, and the whole thing was just a mess. And I'm like, okay, what happened? Just because you just think that you should be with a man, even with all your achievements, with all your success. It could be that even her parents were still telling her that you are not complete as if that thing starts from the home. It starts from the home when your parents and your siblings make you to feel like you are not welcome, you are not complete until you bring home a husband. And that thing now makes our men to start carrying themselves on one, and they will just be going about messing up and thinking that women are just there to just come to this world and go on their knees and beg that they marry them. And then you see men these days, when you ask a young man, I even remember when I was growing up, watching some movies. I grew up watching Nollywood, Nigerian movies. But I think when I became a teenager, I lost interest because I could see the foolishness in their movies. So I had more interest in Hollywood, American movies. But when I was watching Nollywood, I could see that even if our fathers were proud, but they were responsible people. They were people that, no, my wife must not pick a pin. My wife is for the home front. That is still a very wrong idea, but it was even a better one than what we have today. My wife is supposed to be at home to.
Wow, did we lose her? It's not this. Okay, that's Nigerian network. I think she's still there. Maybe we have to call her back, I guess. Well, I hope you are
Manage my
enjoying. Oh,
home,
she's
and I
there.
must
She's back
provide
now.
something to give me.
Hello, we lost you for a while. Hello, no, okay.
Oh, okay, sorry. I think
Yes,
network.
go
Yes,
ahead,
I'm fine.
please.
Okay, yeah. So I'm saying.
Huh. That network thing is not working now. Anyway, where we are trying to reconnect with her, if you want to call into the program, please let us know. You go to Facebook Messenger, look for Move Agents Matic. Once you get to Move Agents, write to us and say that you want to call back. You want to call, and we will call you back. Just send us a message that you want to call, and we'll call you back. Yes, do you have a caller? There's one key, yes? No, otherwise one key. So right now I want to present to you this book here, Truth, Non-Truth, and Lies. It has become the #1 bestseller on Amazon, new release. Do you have the photographs of the book as #1 on the #1 new release? See, that's one. Yes. Can you see another one where they have with many? Yeah. So there's another book that I also have that is #1 right now. It's been #1 for months. It's Kingdom First, Church Second. Kingdom First, Church Second. So that is another one that is also #1 up there. And I want to use this opportunity to announce for those people who want to come for History Makers Training, HMT in Ukraine. The HMT is coming up in April, and it's from the 8th to the 12th of April. So if you want to come for that training, it's going to be about systems, how to build systems for your life, and to achieve any goals and to resolve any problems. So the way to register is to go to sundayadelajablog.com/HMT, or you could write to hmt@godembassy.org. So I think we have a caller. Yes? Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, DSA.
Hello?
How are you, sir? Hello.
Yes, who is calling from where? Can you speak louder, please?
Hey, I'm speaking louder. Can you hear me now?
No, you've got to speak into your microphone, right close inside it.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
Can you
good
hear me
now.
now?
Very good now. Yeah.
That was so Omole.
Yes, Esheun. That is that Kenny?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Yesterday I tried to call in, but I couldn't get a chance to talk yesterday.
Yeah.
I will start from yesterday. Number one, you celebrated all the women on the platform, and
You
on
you
behalf
still
of
need
all
to
the
you still need
women,
to speak louder or closer to your device.
can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay. I said yesterday you celebrated all the women on the platform, greeting all of us that Happy Women's Day. And
Yes.
on behalf of all the women on the platform, on DSA family, we would like to also say happy belatedly Women's Day to your princess.
Yes, thank you. Oh, wow, thank you. But I did that myself here. I've done that.
Well, you do this for yourself, but we also have to do it to celebrate your woman.
Wow,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. And also then not
And
just to my princess, but also to my daughter. That yesterday was her birthday.
wow, happy birthday belatedly to her too. Happy birthday.
Yep.
We appreciate you, sir. And then secondly, regarding there's a lady that called yesterday from UK who said she called her 11-year-old son.
Debbie, yeah.
Yes, she called her 11-year-old son to listen to the message. And
Right.
this is what I have been doing ever since I've come across your message since late last year, December, that I started listening to your message. All my nephews, I always send that message to them because we might, and I want to encourage all the women, everybody on the platform, that please, all these messages, send it to all your kids. Let them begin to learn. And thank God for the lady of the platform, that is speaking today. I want to say thank you to, I want to congratulate her for her wedding that she said she got married. Oh no.
Sorry, please for that. Apologies.
Okay, am I still on?
Yes.
Okay. And then I want to encourage everybody, please let us start giving these messages to all our children, the young ones, our brothers. We shouldn't say they are young. I didn't know why I started sending those messages to this my nephews. They're ranging from age 11 to 18. And I said, you guys just have to listen to it. Don't just listen to it. When you finish listening to it, call me. Let's talk about it. Let me understand what you are learning, because these are the things that we were not opportune to have. And I thank God for what that lady said. Majority of people, not even the young ones, even the old people, we were not taught. We didn't know anything. We did not know anything. And we thank God for your life, that God has raised you to begin to tell us, teach us the words of God, teach us the principles and the laws in the simplicity. Thank you so
I
much.
hope you are listening to my family series, what she was talking about
Uh-uh.
today.
Everything I listen to, there's no day I don't listen to at least 3 to 4 messages of DSA.
Yeah, but you have to be systematic about it. You have to go series by series rather
That's what
than.
I do. That's what I do. Series
Okay.
upon series.
Okay.
I just go on to the series. I click on one series. I finish it. I move to the next one. That's
Right.
what I do.
That's the best way to do it. Thank you so
That's what
much,
I do.
Kenny. Blessings.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Ẹ ṣeun. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Um, Victoria still has so much to say. I, you know, I saw that when we began to talk about a message for young ladies and for women in general, that she came alive. She just went all out for it. And that is a proof that that is her passion. That's where she is. She wants to help the ladies to get the message. I think we are going to be able to get her back. And Zwanok, yes? Ilish totam. Netra? Okay, don't worry. But I think we also have callers. So at the same time, we want to hear Victoria, but we also want to hear the callers. So we're going to try to entertain the two of them. So please, if you also want to, if you have not yet joined the mentorship program, please go to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship, and it's for free. The mentorship program there is for free, so you can go and join mentorship program, sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. Hello?
Yeah, it's Noeline.
Norlene, how are you doing, man?
I thank God.
Good. Nice
Yeah,
to hear your
what
voice.
this lady is saying is she's 100% correct.
Oh, okay.
When you are in Nigeria, I don't know about here in Britain, but in Nigeria, as soon as you start secondary school, or if you're opportune to go to higher institution,
Yeah.
the only thing, well, let me not say the family, but most of the family, they are only looking forward for somebody to marry you.
Oh, wow. That is
That's
almost like as if the lady is a commodity.
Yes, that's, well, all their effort, all their training, everything they are doing is just for you to get a husband. And probably if you get a rich one, they will be very happy because they are financially now okay. Somebody is now there to support them. So
Wow.
when you start choosing suitors, as I will use myself as an example, my aunt, the one that senior my father, want to know whether I'm from marine spirit.
No.
Because the men that are coming, they are very wealthy. Some of them, in Nigeria, there is a time Santana used to reign.
Yes, the car.
They are set of first people that buy Santana, build a house. So for them, they are ready to marry, and you don't have any other problem. So as I think I've said that story before, when I met a man and he told me, he asked me, what do I want to do? I said, I want to go to school. He told me, oh, you don't need education. I said, okay, I will see you in heaven, not me.
Yeah.
So the day he came for the marriage, probably to start the marriage process, I left. I know he's coming. I knew he's coming, and I left to find myself school. I was then eager to go to higher institution.
Yeah.
So what my aunt went to do is to see if I'm from marine spirit, if I'm from marine spirit, if a marine spirit is disturbing me, why such a man will come to marry me and I'm not available.
Wow.
That was one. Then when I finally got married to a crook that said he went to higher institution when he didn't even see the walls of higher institution at all.
Wow.
Just because he was he was working with a car dealer, so he managed to get money. So he thought with the money I will cover up. So when I found out that no, number one, he wanted to be a polygamous man, he had a so-called girlfriend with 2 children, and without my knowledge came to marry me.
No.
So the first, not knowing that you have 2 children outside marriage and you want me to be second wedded wife,
Wow,
made me so angry and so bitter in life. Not because I didn't have suitors, but I was thinking that education will make somebody to be a bit better than those illiterate that just traders that have money.
Right.
Then the whole thing fell apart. Not just fell apart. My own uncle told me, oh, make sure that the reason why you are leaving your husband's house is not because of my money.
Oh.
And I say, uncle, any day I pray to God that any day I will cross the road, I said, I'm coming to your house to beg you for money. The first prayer I prayed that a car will kill me so that I won't get to your house. And even when I had my baby, my daughter, this man didn't touch her, not even giving her a penny. The purpose is to punish me to go back to a polygamous house.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, as God have his purpose on me, I left to Britain. And the first time I went to Nigeria was 1998. I left 1995, went to Nigeria in 1998. The same man opened his mouth and said, "Thank God you left."
Wow.
So you see what I mean? First, make sure it's not because of my money. Then when you finally succeeded, when God showed up on your path, that nobody have opportunity to laugh at you, when the so-called man went to marry the girlfriend so that you will be, when you come back, what I heard is that the friends advise him to marry the lady, so that when you come back, when I come back, I'll be begging him so I can be the second wedded wife.
My God.
And unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Hmm.
So, and that broke him, well, from what I heard anyway, because when you are planning, unfortunately, they don't consult God. So, and when God is not on their side, everything has to fail. So that lady is telling you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I mentioned that if anybody that needs to go on training and know what is life, need to be the men.
Yes.
Because it's the men that you will wait for a man to come and marry you. Unfortunately, we are not trained for a lady to find a man.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until a man finds you. And then when he finds you, he will use you however he wants to use you. So the point that those ones that are supposed to find a woman will be trained who is a woman, who is human being, who they are first before they find who they don't know.
Yeah.
Because if they know who they are first before they find who they don't know, it can help the person they don't know to understand him. But some of them don't know who they are, and they are looking for somebody they don't know. That making the matter worse.
Wow.
Even in Britain, I'm still saying it is not the marriages in abroad that is so fantastic, because they still don't know who they are before they find who they don't know.
Yeah.
So as the lady said, if there will be a school that if you want to go and marry, and somebody will teach you who you are before you find who you don't know, it will help this world
We
to
have
be
school.
a better world to live
We have
in.
schools like that here in Ukraine in our church. We have it all over the country.
Ma'am, I wish you would go anywhere. I don't think I've seen one in Britain, because what I'm saying, if it's the same pastors that doesn't know what they are training you, they are just after money that have to train you. Again, you are back to square one. Yeah, so that's the point. So it has to be, somebody who knows the Bible, and leave the money and mammon, and leave the tithe and offering and every money you can squeeze out of human being that want to train you who you are. Then you won't know who you are, because all they will train you is how to make money and not how to make human being.
Wow.
So thank you very much. The lady is just saying everything as it is, as she can understand it.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
man. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Wow. Well, it's a pity we can't get Victoria again. We tried to get her, we can't get her. And so we'll be taking more calls. And wow. Well, for those of you who want us to be sending you our telephone number, our messages, especially for those who don't have data, we will be sending our messages to you. So, hello, we have a caller.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Who is calling from where?
My name is Joshua.
Yes,
from Berlin.
Yes, Pastor Joshua. How are you today?
Good evening, DSA.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
You,
I want to
you
talk
need to
about
put off. You have something playing. I'm hearing my voice. You need to put it off, sir.
Okay, I'm fine. Okay, can you hear me now?
No, you have to put off the sound that is on the background.
I'm hearing my voice. You need to put it off. Okay, I'm fine.
Or go to another room.
Okay. I'm going to another room.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I want to talk about the calling.
Yes.
The lady talk about when you talk
Right.
about when when God called you. Growing up in the church, leaving the church, and serving the church all my life in Nigeria, I was thinking that when what they taught us in Church of God Mission and what they taught us in church or growing up, we believe that if God want to call you, you have to be in the room and you have to hear the voice of the Lord from heaven, and God will call you.
Wow. So you are confirming what the lady was speaking about.
Sir, my eyes was open when I went to Greece and did my theology.
Wow.
That is how I understand and know what is the calling of God.
My God.
90% of Nigerians does not know what is the calling of God.
Wow.
They are waiting to hear a big voice from heaven and let God call them. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. 99% of the churches in Nigeria does not know.
Wow.
When I did my theology in Greece, I would see the papas, the Greek Orthodox pastors, the big one, the white Greek Orthodox pastor. After teaching and preaching, they will get their glass of wine and drink. And I was waiting for God to kill them. God will not kill them.
Oh.
God will not kill them. And I'll be asking, these people have the calling of God now, and they are the one in charge of the Greek ministry, the Orthodox church and everything. And they are living a simple and a normal life. We are close to them. But the one in Nigeria that told us we'll be waiting for the call from God, nothing is happening. I just believe that they are just scamming the people. They are just looking for the money and their own selfish right.
Wow, it's like there's no church in the country. There's no church in Nigeria almost.
So when I came to Greece and I understand what is ministry, I said, no, Nigerians we are gone.
Wow.
We are gone. We need people like you to be able to explain this thing. And if you explain to them, they can't hear except they come out and see how church is running abroad. The way they are running, imagine my brother want to come to Germany for masters. He take his school fees and give to a church.
Wow.
Took his school fees and give to a church.
He has been brainwashed.
And now, the admission time now, he's now praying for God to come and help him from heaven. You have the money, you give it to the church. If you want the money, go back to the church. So, and the lady was right when he's talking about the calling. The pastors in Nigeria, I think they'll make 99% of Nigerians going through hell. They really need, this is more than deliverance. It's going to be from 0 to 100.
Wow.
You can't beat, they've gone so far.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Thank you
very
much,
good
sir.
contribution. Thank you so much. All right. So I wanted to tell you about the WhatsApp number, our WhatsApp number, where you could send your telephone number or WhatsApp number to, because we could be sending our messages to you every day, especially those who cannot afford the data, so that you could pay less. It's going to be WhatsApp size, and that is small, short messages every day. So our telephone number is +38 098 596 3838. So that is how you just send your number to us or your telephone to us, and we will be sending our messages to you on daily basis. All right, we have a caller. Hello?
Oh, yes.
Hello? Anybody there? Hello? She couldn't hear me, right? Is Victoria there? Can we try to get Victoria? Drugo Ikadre. Because I know that she still has a lot more to tell us. Yeah. She's doing some wonderful work in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
You need to turn your
Yeah,
telephone.
I'm so sorry.
Can you turn your...
Oh, okay.
No. It has to... Maybe you have to put it on auto-rotate again.
Okay, I'll do that.
I think it's network. Okay, I think it's good now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's one of the things that we need to fix, our network in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So maybe the people that fix our networks, maybe they are still in church singing and dancing.
I want to ask you about what you started to do after all this time you've listened to DSS messages. What are your kingdom fruits? You know, I heard that you are doing some wonderful stuff in Nigeria.
Yeah, so okay, listening to DSA, I was able to meet very wonderful people.
You might
You
need to
know,
move back. You might need to move backward a little bit because your head is being cut off. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, okay. So listening to DSA, I think I was able to change my environment.
Oh, good.
I think first of all, what I was able to do, because there was a time where, okay, after getting all those information, the only person I can talk to is Fruits.
I don't think this network has been healed, though. I don't think that network is better. I think the network is still troublesome. Okay, let's go back to the callers. I think we have some more callers out there. We'll try to get her back later on. Maybe we'll get a network. Maybe she will get a network fixed meanwhile. Or maybe we'll bring her back another day where she could really tell us about some of the good work she's doing. Yeah, can you, I'm sure we have other callers who would like to call. So let's talk to those ones. Not that you are stand of it. All right. Meanwhile, I also want to tell you about the HMT that is coming up in April. Everybody that is watching, if you want to come, that might be my last HMT in Ukraine. So if you want to come for the HMT in Ukraine, try to make it in April from 8th to 12th. And just write to hmt@godembassy.org. Or you could write to, you could go to sundaydelajablog.com/HMT. I also want to make an announcement regarding people who want to go with us to Nigeria, people who have a burden or who wish to go to Nigeria with us. I would like to challenge you to go to sundaydelajablog.com. .org. You said sundaydelajablog.com/Nigeria and register there. We'll get in touch with you when we are ready to go to Africa. All right. So let's see if we have a caller or not. Okay. All right. We can't get to the person who wants to call now. So maybe we could give Victoria another chance and try to see if she will be able to come or not. Some other people want to call to the studio to talk, but let's give Victoria the priority. Hello, Victoria. Are you still there? It's book here.
Yes, I'm sorry for the message.
All right. That is one of the things we have to come to Nigeria to fix by God's grace. So I was asking, what are the changes that have happened in your life, and what are some kingdom fruits that you would like to tell us about?
Yeah, okay. So when I was listening to DSA, one of the things I did was to change my environment.
Brilliant.
Because it now became that I'm thinking in the same direction as I'm doing. So, and I created an environment on Facebook. because I could meet lots of DSA followers on Facebook. So I met new people, and then I think I was able to partner with two wonderful people, and we set up an NGO, Feed a Soul initiative. So they are not in the country. I'm the only one in Nigeria, but so we started the NGO to feed hungry people, and we started doing that. So it was something like we do it like every 2 weeks to go out and feed people. But as time goes on, we realize that we are supposed to be doing much more than just feeding the mouths of people. So we came up with another program to start a widows program. So now we are supposed to get the widows, teach them about values, because the values in Nigeria, we have issues with value system in Nigeria. So
Yes.
one of the things we are aiming to correct is the value system of these women first. We are supposed to help to correct their value system. We are supposed to teach them about finance, tell them that thing that you've been hearing in church, that when you sow your seed to your pastor, it's not going to multiply in triple fold. The only thing that will bring back money is when you work hard with the little you have. So we are going to correct their mindset on finance and money. We are going to teach them about integrity, those basic things that an average Nigerian does not have. And then after that, we can see if we can help them with like a micro loan to help set up their businesses so they can become independent. So, and then that is one of them. So setting up the NGO is, I would say that's like my first kingdom fruit.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so, and then the second, I was able to quit my job. I quit my job in a school, like working in a school, and then I started up something. I started something for myself. I partnered with a friend, and we started like a home school, or as in something for ourselves. So we just started something at home. And then the third thing I was able to achieve was that because I stopped going to church now, I now had a lot of time to do something. So I now have a side business, service kitchen. So like I provide food, cooks food for people that are very busy to take care of themselves. Yeah. And then some months ago, I enrolled for fashion. So yes, it just made me to see that I can do as many things as I want to do. Like, I just saw that I had a lot of potential that I needed to harness. I had a lot of time on my hand. I don't have children to bother about just yet. In fact, myself and my husband, we're not looking at having I'm talking an average Nigerian man to be able to be in line with me, and we won't decide to have babies anytime soon because we know that there's a lot for us to work on our purpose. So yeah, so I just that I have a lot of time. I don't find like a good time management skill for me to do something with my time. So I don't have I don't feel like I can do as many things as I want to do. Yeah, so I'm just very versatile now. Like I have I do the whole school, the service kitchen, and presently I'm into fashion designing. Yeah, so that's number two. And then thirdly, and that's like the one that is still in view. I started DSA's mentorship program, but somehow I was not able to be disciplined enough. I started it last year's May. I was not able to, I didn't discipline myself enough to finish it. So, but I started again, and I'm just very much eager to finish it. I'm just midway into the not even midway. I just started like the first class in the mentorship. Ideas just started flying into my head like, Victoria, if everybody in Nigeria can start listening to what this man has to say, if everybody can come under DSA's mentorship, then I don't think there'll be any much thing to worry about anymore. So I discussed with my partners, wonderful partners, like, okay, what do you think about starting a program for teens and youth, where we now provide DSA's mentorship for free. When I say for free, we are paying for the internet for them to watch the videos. We are providing them with the book. So if we have more youth that are going to study, and they are getting the book and they are getting the videos without having to spend money buying data for the internet. I think it would be. I think that would be my. That's like my. That would be my major kingdom fruit. If you are able to have, if I'm able to have, if I'm able to be like a guide for people to start listening to come under DS's mentorship and start.
Is that the FAS? Is that what is?
Offer.
Is that what you?
I think that was my greatest kingdom fruit.
I see a photograph. Yeah. A photograph here. FAS Teens Club.
Yes, yes.
Is that the one?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are looking to start that off.
Very good.
Club. Yeah. Yeah, so we are starting that in April. So by April, we should be starting. So it's supposed to be like a weekly thing for seniors and youth to come together, and then they're doing the same mentorship, like the same Google Classroom, but like to run the mentorship and do the mentorship while I'm still doing it myself.
Beautiful, wonderful. That is a brilliant idea. Very proud of you. Wow, you have set the whole platform on fire. Do we still have callers? Yeah, let's try to see. We're going to try to connect with somebody who's still trying to call. So maybe you will hear what the person has to say, and because there are some people have been calling while you are away. So we are going to call. Okay, we are going to call the next. We are going to connect to the next caller now. So your testimony has been a life-changing and encouraging story, and people have confirmed. All the people who call have confirmed your story. Either it is about the calling, they have confirmed it. That people in Nigeria don't know. 90% they don't know what calling is. They are expecting only God to speak to them in the night in the room, or just like what you said. Another person confirmed the fact that the marriage, concerning marriage also, everything that you have said. People are insecure, and they are just rearing up girls to go and marry, and maybe marry to a rich person. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we. Yes. Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Okay, I thought it was a caller, but if not, I'm not very happy with that environment change that I got, because I don't know. I don't think that when I don't interact, I don't come on Facebook, because I know that if I go and talk to a normal Nigerian, we will be talking about two different things. So I don't think the people are happy to meet and know on DSA platform. And one of them is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I know. Dr. Gibbs, meeting with people that have, constant zeal and passion that I have when it comes to this thing about women being. I mean, there's not something about our Nigerian women that is going. There's not something about from the upbringing. There's something that is going into your head to make you to think that you need a man to survive. So however that man comes, you just bring him and water him and tend to him and present him to yourself. So it's not the man that is presenting the bride now. It is the bride that is using a man to present the man to herself, for us to go and continue all the hard work at home. So I'm just very excited and happy with the environment. I remember not wanting to always call myself a feminist then, because if you thought that when you're a feminist, you are saying that men and women are not. I mean, like, so this will help me to really shape my mindset about this feminism thing. I remember the first time. My first encounter with Elizabeth I know was she made a post and said, "Say no to bride price." I was very angry. I was like, what's this lady saying? Are you saying that one of those service people, they come again? And, but I started, the environment helped shape my mind because Brother Clement, I think, started a video program, how Jesus treated women. So I'm just so happy with that environment of being in DSA family and DSA platform. And then I used to tell myself that I don't know, but for people that are listening to DSA, and at some point they're not listening to DSA again. DSA does not have something to offer. I'm very sorry for those people, and I'm going to say that I think that their minds, they are so myopic to understand. If you are a myopic person, you can never understand what DSA has to offer. If you don't have common sense, it is very difficult to grasp the weight of the message DSA has brought. So if you don't have an understanding of this thing, you can't take it. And when you can't take it, what happens? Like you start fighting and you don't see yourself going on a different kind of level, and when you're going back, you are going even further than the religion is in churches. Because now you see the truth for real. You say it and you pass it out. So for real, I just think one of the greatest gifts you can give to anyone is bringing them to start listening to BSA, writing them this book, because it is something that will help to shape your mind from what society, from what religion, from even what your family has put in your head as a Nigerian. So, exposing people to BSA's mentorship brings them back in shape and set them right on track again. So that's why I just told myself that, okay, I can't keep lamenting and saying that, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, whatever. I've been born here and there's nothing I can do. And I've seen what has helped to set me free from religion. So if myself and my partners can make this mentorship available for people, not just like showing them videos, like they should go through the mentorship as it is in the classroom. Even if not in the same pace as thank God it's not at your pace, but just making sure that those things are provided and it's done in a fun way. Because youth love to hang out and they love to meet and have fun. So if it's done in a fun way and this program is provided for them all for free, I don't think I will even be the one. I'm not the person in the picture here. I'm not the mentor or whatever. Yes, it is the mentor, but PDSO is just like a guide to help other people to discover their calling. I think
that is one of the best. That is one of the best ideas. That's one of the best thing anybody could do. To provide that mentorship, internet, and books for all young people to do. I really want to encourage you with that, and I want to say, that is a genius idea. And it might be one of the greatest things you've done, because you'll be able to give direction to a whole lot of new generation of young people. Well, we couldn't get through to all our people who want to call. I think their line is so complicated, but it's been so nice to have this program. It's been so nice to have this program with you. You've done so very well. I think you have to agree with my team here. Maybe they would like to invite you for other programs in the future. But keep on delivering women and widows and teenagers, and keep on doing the good job. And I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you so much, and greetings to all your partners. And all of you keep on the good job, and God bless you. Bye. And greet your husband for me too.
Yes, thank you.
All right, God bless you. So I would like to say to our viewers who are watching us before I go that, I will be coming back in the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes to keep on the series on how to know God through the church. And the messages they have been talking about the family, about women, about men, about getting ready for marriage, is called Family Series. you can also get that on our YouTube page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja on YouTube. So, and then the books for today is Truth, Non-Truth, and Lies is my latest new release. And then you have other books like Heaven's Atmosphere in the Family, and I think there's another one that was there, Heaven's Atmosphere in the Family. So, yeah, I hope that blesses, and you is, just are just things that we all need to build a healthy family. So thank you so much. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Peace.